Hi there again. Well, it's Easter, and Easter's a wonderful time of the year. It's a time of year I get very excited for. It's not just because of Easter eggs, although they are nice, but it's because you feel like summer's on its way. You've got spring and then summer, and the year is starting to feel quite positive. So I thought it might be nice to bake a cake for Easter. So should we give it a go? Sure. Let's just bake it. The cake I'm going to bake is basically a sponge cake with an icing topping, and we're going to have some little chocolate mini Easter eggs on there and a few chicks around as well. So let's just have a look at the ingredients we need. So the ingredients for this cake are going to be 8 ounces of self-raising flour, 8 ounces of caster sugar, 8 ounces of butter or margarine, a little bit of salt, got some icing we're going to need later on. Now, usually when I do this mix, if I go 8, 8, 8, I usually go 4 eggs, but these are smallish eggs, so we're going to go 5 eggs on this one. Baking powder, some lemon flavouring, vanilla extract, a lemon, and of course some chicks, and some chocolate Easter eggs. Yeah, very tasty. So firstly we'll take a look at sorting out the wet mix of this cake. So with our caster sugar, I'm going to add in our butter or margarine. And then mix that all into the sugar. Okay, then we'll grab an egg and crack that into the bowl. Okay, so that's that nicely mixed up. Let's bring the lemon in now, and we'll grate some of the lemon rind off to get our lemon zest. Now with the lemon zest, we'll just add that to the mix we've got, the wet mix. And then mix that in as well. Oh, lovely lemony smell there. And lastly, a teaspoonful of vanilla essence. And then mix that in as well. Okay, so that's the wet mix of the cake sorted out. We'll now take a look at the dry mix. So with the dry mix, we have some baking powder that we need to put in there. I'm going to go for 2 teaspoonfuls of that. Okay, and some salt, about half a teaspoonful of salt. Okay, and then we'll mix that all in together. Okay, we'll now add the dry mix to the wet mix, and we're going to sieve this through. The idea is just in case there's any lumps, breaks the flour a bit, so you can mix it up nice and smoothly. And then just fold that into the mixture. So with the cake mix ready to go into the tin now, I'm just going to line it before I put the mix in. So I've got some baking paper. I've made some strips for the side already. I'm just going to make the base unit now. So fold that over. Fold that over again. Bring that side into there. A bit of a triangle, and that side over there. Okay. And then with this, we put this on to where we think the point is, so the point to the sort of centre of the tin, which I think is probably going to be about there. So snip there, just lift off that. Okay. And we should have our base unit. So first I'm going to run some butter around the sides and the bottom of this tin, and this is really to help the baking paper stick. It's all nicely buttered up. We'll put the bottom part of the baking paper into the tin, and then stick the sides in. Okay, so with the tin lined, we'll add the mixture into the tin. So this cake mix is ready to go in the oven now, but before I put it in there, I'm going to put this cooling belt on there, and the idea is to help stop the cake from rising in the middle when it's getting baked. So put that around there like that. Tight, and onto a baking tray ready for the oven. So place this into the preheated oven. Now with these bake leveling belts on, you want to have the temperature turned down, and we turn it down to about 3, which is the equivalent to about 165 degrees centigrade. Okay, I think this is ready now. Yep, that is looking good. So place this cake onto the wire rack and leave it to cool down. Okay, it should have cooled down enough now. Let's get the cake out of there. Let's take the belt off to start with. Let's place it over glass. Paper off this. Let's turn upside down. And take the paper off that. There we go. Now the cake has cooled down, we want to start preparing it for its decoration. But I want to cut it in half. So I'm going to use this tin as a template to cut along. So I'm going to pop it inside the tin to start with. So what you want to do is just get your knife along the edge here and just run that around to get a line around the cake. You see it's cutting into it now as well. And there you have it. Okay, so I'm going to separate these two halves. Let's put that one there for a minute. This one we put onto a plate. Okay, I want to make a hole in the middle of it to place some mini chocolate Easter eggs. So with this one, it's going to be the base unit. We've got a cutting tool here. Just put that in the middle and just gently twist it around to cut a section out in the middle of the cake. Okay. Okay, so we'll fill that with some chocolate eggs, some escapees, now the section we cut out, I'm just going to cut a slither of cake from the top of it, which we'll cap the sweets with. And then with this we just place over the top. I want to put some butter icing inside the cake as a filling and as a layer before I put the icing on as well. So put some butter in here. We've got some lemon flavouring, so we'll put a few drops of that in as well. And then add some butter icing. And mix it all up. So firstly we're placing this icing on the top. Okay, then we'll smooth that all round. Okay, we've lost a chick. Okay, then we'll pick the top up and place that on top of the cake. The next part will be to go over the top of it and around the sides. Now I need to ice the top of the cake, so I've got some fondant icing here that I'm going to use. I want to mix colours. I want to have half of it white and half of it yellow, so I've got some food colour in there which I will mix in with it. Now I'm going to put some vinyl gloves on, because when you're using food colouring sometimes it can stain your hands, which I found out on a mix I was doing for the guitar cake, if any of you saw that video. Now I've got the white fondant icing. It's a little bit dry, so you want to just bring this back to life. And what you can do, just make a bit of a dip in it, is just add in a little bit of oil. This is some vegetable oil. It does bring it back to life, but also helps to give it a bit of a shine as well. Okay, so right, let's mix all that in together. That's working well. It's getting nice and loose now. Easier to work with, more flexible. Okay, so I want to sort of half and half, so just get a little bit of a sausage part there. So we're going to cut this in half. Okay, so half we can use our white icing, and then this one will colour. So let's put a dip in there. We've got some yellow food colouring here. This is concentrate, so hopefully we shouldn't need too much, but we'll give it 2 or 3 drops and then see how it colours up. And if we need more, we can always add more to it. So just work that in there. It's turning quite a nice yellow colour now. Now with these two colours, I want them to be kind of a bit like a sort of marble type effect. So I'm actually going to mix both colours into this. And just gently sort of rolling them in, not too much, because I do want the white to come through as well. Okay, so let's flatten that down. Okay, I'll start rolling out. Okay, so I want to cut out a round circle, and I want to cut out a round circle that's larger than the cake. So I'm using this baking tin as an item I can use to cut round. So let's just start cutting that round there. Okay, and then we'll just remove the excess icing. There we go. And then with our rolling pin, we'll just roll this icing back up, like so, and then we'll place it over the cake. Okay, and just flatten this down, bring it over the sides. Okay, so what I want to try and do is have it sort of like puckering out a little bit. I want to make a little egg holder to go in the middle. So this icing, just flatten it out. And we get the roller. And again, just roll it out. Don't need this too large. Okay, then we've got a cutter, so we're just going to cut a circle out. Okay, and then with this we just want to pinch the sides in there, and then pinch the sides in there. So we'll stick this on top. So firstly we're going to put a little bit of water on the top. Not too much, but just enough for this to stick on. Right. That I think should do. And just place it in the middle. And then what we'll do, we'll just place a little bit of water on the inside of that. And we can then place a few eggs in there. So I'm just going to place a few eggs around here. So I've got some icing. Just put a small dollop there, small dollop there, small dollop there, and a small dollop there. Okay. And we'll stick one egg just there on that side. And we'll stick one there and the other one that side. And of course this wouldn't be complete without some chicks on there, so I was going to put a bit of icing on there. Be enough, and then what we're going to do is stick them to the cake, so just dab their feet into the icing and then we'll stick them on the cake. There we go. One cake for Easter. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and if you have, please give a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and happy Easter. No chicks were harmed in the making of this film. This is a chick-friendly film.